I've said that to a few husband friends of mine. They're like, they're not happy, and I always make the first move, and I'm like, well, have you actually taken them out to the local pub? It's all it takes. It does not take much.
Welcome to Intimacy Play, a podcast by Pleasy Play. We host open discussions with world-leading experts on couples, sex, and intimacy, so you can build a more exciting, fun, and intimate relationship. I'm your host, Mikaela Silva. Today we have with us Emma Sayle. Hi, Emma. Thank you so much for joining us today in the podcast. And well, for anyone that doesn't know you, over the last 15 years, you've spent your career talking about female empowerment. You launched KK. You launched other businesses as well, like Sisters. Can you tell us a little bit more about these 15 years and what happened and why you decided to go in this path?
But you know what? It's been a roller coaster of 15 years, and it's been amazing because it's been sort of right at the front of what's happening with females across from sexuality. I say from the bedroom to the boardroom. So everything of how women's changed. And I mean the one I started first was Killing Kittens, which is all empowering women sexually, and creating like an online and offline world where women were very much in control, and it was a safe space and environment for them to explore their sexuality without any judgment. What it's known for, thanks to tabloid headlines, is that there's sex parties, as they call it. But it's always been a much bigger sort of entity, and I always say the sex is a byproduct. So it's sort of providing that safe space and the community where women can talk openly about anything they want to when it comes to sex. And it was very much when it was like 2004, 2005, and I just was angry that the world was so male, and the double standards. And I was sort of early 20s and sort of coming out of university into kind of the real world, and the real world when it comes to work, and the harassment you had in the workplace that went on. I was a 6-foot blonde, and it had several cases from bosses of sexual harassment, and just thought this wasn't what kind of I was in an all-girls boarding school for 10 years and learned that I could do whatever, come into the world as equals and do whatever I wanted and be whoever I wanted. And it was just disappointing that the workplace was like that. And then the dating space was, men could sleep around and, do whatever they wanted, and were considered legends and high five
Totally.
for, being, hero sluts. And girls, you couldn't. Well, you could, but there was this shaming and this slut shaming and this fear of being judged by your friends if you happen to have a one night stand. And it was just real double standards across the board. And it just sort of, it was kind of a fire in me that I'd had since I was little, because I grew up in the Middle East as well. So I saw the way women were treated out there. So I always saw this double standards from being at boarding school to being at home. So I was thinking I was about 24, and Sex and the City had just come out, where you had the groups of friends just sat around talking about vibrators and their love lives. And there was a bit of an undertone in the media about women's sexuality and this female sexual revolution going on. And I thought, that's great, but it's not going on. It's not happening. And that's when I decided to launch Killing Kittens, very much with women's sexuality at the core and being able to be in a safe space. And that just sort of grew and grew, and the online side grew. And then in the last couple of years, launched Sister, which is professional women. So it's very similar, but it's sort of giving women the confidence in the professional world to go and like demand a pay rise and back themselves. So that's sort of the KK group. There's sort of a lot of different things, but with female empowerment at the core of it.
Definitely, you've managed to have to make a path for yourself. That's amazing. I think any woman and man should definitely not only acknowledge but tell you that it's an amazing way that you've been able to actually open up and make people talk about women empowerment, about sex in a more open way. And it's also something that we do try at Pleasy, is that sex is something that we do every day. So why aren't people able to talk about this and be seen as equals in men and women? So I definitely relate to everything that you said. And as in this podcast, we do help couples make their relationship a lot more open and intimate, exciting, talk about things in a free way. But one of the topics that we focus a lot on is fun. And I know KK also helps a lot with fun. How do you think couples can ensure and retain fun in a relationship?
I think you've got to make an effort, and I think it everything involves effort. That's the thing. You can't, in the same way, if you sit, you have a business idea and you sit back and you think it's going to fall out the sky and suddenly become a really successful business, you've got to put the work in, and it's the same in relationships. It's the same in having fun, and it's so easy to fall into a rut of like every day doing the same thing, and you've got to step up. And I think the key bit to me in any relationship, whether it's a business relationship or in a couples in the bedroom, is communication. And that's where couples fail. That's where, shagging your PA comes in, or, sleeping with your personal trainer. And, where you get the whole, oh, my other half doesn't listen to me, doesn't understand me. But actually, when you go, well, have you actually ever tried to have a proper conversation and communicate how you're feeling, what you want, what it is that what you want to try, what your fantasies are, what do you dream of, and that's the thing. So to have fun, it comes down to communicating and making an effort, and if you don't communicate, if you don't make the effort, then you can't sit there and go, oh, it's not working.
Totally. Definitely. I mean, people think that sex is the center of people being well. It's actually communicating and having a relationship where you can try new things. That fun and sex come within that. But I totally agree with you that if you don't communicate, if you don't say what you want, what you need, and even what you want to talk about and discuss, how can you actually have a good relationship with your other half, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, because I always say, well, they're not a mind reader. I get friends going, oh, I'm pissed off because he's not doing this and he's not doing that. And you go, well, have you actually spoken to them?
Exactly.
I'm not happy. No. Well, how do you expect them? They're not. And I always say, men are simple creatures, and I don't mean that in any disrespect. We are complicated creatures, and our biggest sex organ is our brain. And we need to be, if you want to get in our pants, then we need to feel respected, we need to feel listened to, and we need to feel like you're making an effort. That's it. For men, to get in their pants, it's literally you just jump them. It's that mindset. And I think women are very, they're very good at sitting there thinking that men think the same way we think. And men are pretty good at sitting there thinking, well, we want sex and we can just turn it on like that. So why aren't they wanting to jump us? It's sort of, when you understand how each other operates, it's very simple. I say to my husband, just date nights, that's all I need. Get me out of mum mode, take me out for dinner for an hour. I become a completely different, I've switched the thing, it's switched in my head, and I'm now hot wife. It doesn't take much.
Mom of two here, so I definitely understand what you mean. And I mean, I've been with my husband for over 12 years, so I totally get your point, and I agree. It's just the sort of thing that when you communicate, and then you can get to a point where you say, "This is what I want. Why don't we try it?" It makes the relationship so much better. But what I've actually realized is that a lot of people, like you said, like a couple of friends of yours as well, have a hard time communicating this. Do you think it's interesting to have something external of the relationship to help that? Like an example would be KK, a party or the community where people can say, "Well, I didn't say it. It's in the community. Somebody said it. You want to try it?"
No, massively, and we say that, and actually we've seen a big increase, since March and lockdown, and we've seen a massive increase in traffic in our online side, and we've launched a new platform in the summer, and we just launched a new chat app last week, and that's got group chat and individual chat, and we've seen it a lot, and we've seen a lot of all the events we do, and the online ones and all the webinars and workshops and everything, in the last 7 months. Over 50% of the people that are coming along are new couples, and a lot of them are saying they would never have come before lockdown, but they're suddenly in a house working from home, looking at each other going, we've never actually communicated and we can't go anywhere or do anything else, so let's actually have some conversations. And join a webinar or KK virtual party where you can sit, you can sit on your sofa in the comfort of your home, and you can shut the computer down at any time. You know what I mean? There's no pressure to come to an actual event. So actually, it's kind of trying in the same way. Actually, you can, you can watch porn and together and just go, I heard about this, and should we just watch some for a laugh, and how about this topic or that topic? And actually, you can kind of see by each other's reactions, or when you're having a bit of fun chatting about it, where then it kind of leads to sort of ice breaking kind of, well, should we give it a go, or how about that, or absolutely no way, that's disgusting. It kind of, it's sort of when you bring that the third party in to it, saying about watching something or going to a virtual event where it's like £10, £20. It's not a lot of money. You can sit there in your pajamas with a bottle of wine, and
It can be a cheap date night, but an awesome night.
yeah, exactly.
No, I totally agree. I think actually the way that you approach KK, it has a lot to do with how we approach Bleezy Play as well, which is empowering couples. You are a little bit more focused in women. We are in the couple itself, but I don't think that takes anything out from the value either point of view. But it's empowering couples to try new things, where we can help with different communities to make them think about things they haven't done before. So how can KK help right now? So can somebody just join the community and attend an event online, like you said? Is it easy enough for anybody that's listening to us?
Yeah, it's so easy. I mean, you can join. As I said, we've got the apps that have come out on iOS and Android. Just Killing Kittens.
Congrats.
Or you just come straight into the KK website, killingkittens.com or wearekk.com. It all links. And you register. It's like signing up to. It's basically like a Facebook meets Bumble. So you just register, and then once you're in and you're verified, then you can just sign up to any of the events. And if you're a premium member, then you get all the events free, or you just pay per event. It's very easy.
Perfect. So it's definitely accessible to any type of couple from what you're saying. It's from anyone that's a beginner to anyone that's tried new things but wants to go that.
There's no age limit. Obviously there is on the younger level, but
Of course.
and we have people from all over the world, different members, and we do events in different time zones. So we do like New York time parties and events and workshops, and Australian. So there's always something wherever you are in the world. There's always an event that suits your time zone.
That's awesome. And can anybody? Is it only women? Is it couples? Can men also join? Has singles?
Yeah, no, there's massive singles. So actually, last time I checked, I think it's about 82% of our members are singles, and about 18-19% are couples. And out of those singles, it's pretty much 50-50 girls, guys. So there's a massive dating site element to it, and we get a lot of people who never attend events who go on and use it like a dating site, because you've got all the search facility, the chat side of it. So yeah, as I said, it's sort of a social network meets dating platform.
I love it. I think it's such a novel idea, and the way that you've been able to actually make it happen. And I mean, you had to reinvent the whole KK way of living with lockdown. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, we've been that, and people don't realize we've actually been a tech business for 4 years. So on paper, because over like 60% of our revenue comes from the online side. So all the chat side of it, and the chat, the group chats, and the messaging and everything that goes on online, and a lot of our education stuff we were doing as webinars. So we just had, we very quickly in week 1 of lockdown just switched all the events into online events, and we've spent the last 3 years building the new platform and the new app. So it was all due to be launched this summer anyway. So we've kind of just sped it up a bit, and 100% now is focused online until we're allowed to touch each other again. So yeah.
Definitely. So I was thinking, how do you think couples can use the platform or anything else to actually enhance the relationship? So in a nutshell, if you were talking to a couple that has never tried anything like this, how can they actually try new things or improve their communication within KK?
I would say join up and then join. There's like a specific couples chat group. So join that and you can just listen to how other couples talk and you can ask questions. But then at the same time, have a look at all the events because we're doing 1 or 2 webinars and masterclasses a week, which are everything from confidence to essential massage. What else? Kind of with Madam Storm does the strut class, so yeah, that's a big confidence one, or sensual dance. And there's beginner, kind of, there's a guide to BDSM, or there's rope play. So we have a complete spectrum of these webinars, and we've got this pottery one as well, life drawing, and erotic life drawing. So we've got an entire range of events, and most of them are couples can attend. So actually you can have real fun. You can have a look and go, right, let's do one a week. They're not expensive at all. And yeah, do one a week and we'll just see what I mean. We'll do a tantric massage one together, or we'll do a beginner's guide to rope play and have some fun tying different knots and how to use rope in the bedroom. Or sex toys, or that's the thing. So it's you're sat at home, you're bored, so why not do some online classes rather than like learn how to knit or crochet, or draw a picture of a river or a mountain. Why not come and actually learn and explore your sexuality?
Definitely, I think you've said it all. It's for anyone that can have any type of pastimes. They can try anything and just enjoy it together or as a single person. So you touched on a point that's actually something that I think it's quite important. You talked about sex toys. So sex toys are still viewed as something that's very bad in the industry. Something that maybe only single women have just because they don't have enough, or because they're not well made, they're not well taught. Actually, I think that's such a wrong perception of sex toys, and that couples should use it, should enjoy it, can enhance their communication. I would love to have your view on that.
Yeah, I mean, sex toys is massive. It's like a multi-billion-pound industry that's growing at pace, and a lot of the sex tech out there is actually female founded. So there's some amazing companies when it comes to sex toys, um, and actually, what I mean, it's like girls use them whether they're in a couple or not, and actually more and more couples are using them. And I think this whole men feeling threatened by a sex toy needs to go, and it is going more and more, and it's more of a tool you can use together again to explore your sex lives and have some fun. So it's not, I always laugh with guy friends going, don't feel threatened by a dildo. It's not us or them. In the same way men might watch porn, it's like, I don't feel threatened by, if my husband chooses to watch porn and there's naked women all over it, or going to a strip club or whatever. It's like, who cares? Well, I probably go to strip clubs more than he does. And that's the thing. It's just they're just tools. They're just things that you can, whether you tie, you use rope, you use dildos, you get blindfolded, you bring in some kink. They're just toys. They're adult toys that you can play with together in the same way kids play with toys together. You know what I mean? They're adult toys.
I love it. I love the way you put it. They're simply toys and they help you enhance and try new things. I think that's it. That's what's
Kids
it.
in the title. It's called sex toys.
Exactly.
Sex. That's it.
Exactly. So simple. Definitely. Like I was saying before in my relationship, I mean, I've been with my husband for 12 years, and I definitely understand that there are ups and downs, like in any kind of relationship. And things like sex toys and other things like communicating and trying new things definitely help us be on the high side and on the low. I don't know if you could share with us some things that within your relationship work that will help a couple be more open, more exciting, and have more ups and downs.
Do you know, I'm quite simple, and I've always said from day one of our is that I just need date nights. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I just need someone who, sorts out childcare, makes that effort, says I booked somewhere, because I'm always the one organising everything in the rest of the life. So it's nice to have someone. It's just literally that simple. And I've said that to a few husband friends of mine. They're like, they're not happy, and I always make the first move, and I'm like, well, have you actually taken them out to the local pub. It's all it takes. It does not take much at all. So so that and just communicating, you know what I mean? That actually when it's bad and we're like, "Ugh," and I'm like, I'm not happy. And then I'm very good in my head at going, well, have I actually communicated? Have I actually said anything? Have I actually made an effort myself? And a lot of the time the answer is no. So you then take responsibility, then you stop putting it on your other half and go, well, it's up to me to take control and do something. You know what, in lockdown, the kids they were putting into a jar what they wanted to do when they got out of lockdown every day, like what friends they wanted to play with. And I said, actually, that'd be quite fun to put in, fantasies or sexual stuff or what you want to do or where you want to go on date nights just in the jar. So actually you could then start, once a week you just pull one out. You don't ever think about it. You just pull one out, and that's what you're doing that week. So there's little stuff there. Very simple.
I love that idea. It's such a simple thing for anybody that's listening to us. So just to try and spice things up, literally a jar can make such a difference when you maybe don't have the courage to say something, or you just want to put it out there for another night, something to be like a surprise. Yeah, I love that. From all these years that you've been with KK, can you tell us the thing that's most surprised you, either in helping your relationship or in feedback that you've had from your users?
Do you know what? It's been the last few years that when we have people, we've got a lot more feedback and the way we work, and we get feedback after every event and stuff like that. And also we get people the reasons why they've joined KK, and that's been amazing. And it's what's been amazing is actually the amount of women who've joined out of controlling relationships or from religious backgrounds, and actually the reasons they're joining is actually to reclaim their power, to get back so that they're in control. They're the ones making decisions when it comes to their sex lives. And that's been a big thing, seeing that. And actually, it actually kind of just reconfirms why we're doing it. And it's not this kind of, it's people trying to save their marriages, or it's the men, being the ones who are pushing their other halves into it. It's actually not. And the reasons, there's a lot of women, the main reasons is sort of they're the ones taking control and making the decisions. And yeah,
I love that. You actually touched the point that's very that's something that's very important for us, which is, why do some people only take action when there's actually a problem? Why don't couples and other people just try and think about their sexuality and their relationship in a broader way, and not only when they are in trouble and then they say, oh, maybe we should have communicated 2 years ago. So
yeah, well, that's the thing. It's becoming it's habit, and our sexuality drives us. It drives us more than religion, politics, anything. It's our core. So you've got to look after it, and you've got, in the same way, people get in the habit of going to the gym every day, or they don't eat much sugar, or they're vegan, or it's kind of what if you put as much effort and energy into your sex lives, and what makes what drives you sexually, and finding that out and exploring it as you do when it comes to your health and fitness, and diet, then we'll be much happier people.
definitely. So if I get correctly, what do you think actually can help a relationship is, first of all, being honest, being open, talk about what you want, what you need, and secondly, and above all, nurture the relationship, whether that be with a date night, or watching porn together, or simply talking about anything, maybe apart from kids. Talking about something that has to do with both men and women, and or women, men and men, of course.
Exactly, you've got to invest the time in it. And same with everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, looking at everything that you've done so far, it's amazing how much you've made women open up and try new things, and the way that your empowerment and your realization has helped thousands of women and couples and men as well.
Men are a big part of it, and that's the thing. It's always from day one. Men have always been massively included in the conversation. The thing, and the same with our sister. And I'm a humanist. I always have been in that. I just see humans. I don't. I think growing up, moving different countries every 2 years, and all my friends are locals and loads of different religions and backgrounds, and it doesn't. It's sort of, I just see people. And I'd also felt that, men need, for things to change, men need to be in the conversation. So, it's the women at the core being in control, of it, and it's their world, but men have always been a big part of it. And a lot, we do a lot of workshops that are just for men, as well. So it's very much not a man bashing.
No, love it. Makes sense. Makes total sense. Just because a lot of people think that women empowerment means man bashing. It has nothing to do with that. It simply means leveling up the field. Am I correct?
Exactly, giving women a confidence to, be the best version of themselves, basically.
Talking about empowerment and about relationships and communication, we would love to give a Pleasy Play membership of 6 months to somebody, to a couple in the community of KK. So we would love to see how you think that would enhance their relationship.
Yeah, no, that'd be amazing, because play. I said we've got hundreds of thousands of couples who are members, and they're all very open, and they're all exploring together at various stages of their journeys, their sexual journeys. So, to have that, it's just Pleasy Play. It's just a sort of, it's another tool, isn't it? When we're talking about sex toys, and actually, I think it'd be very popular.
That's amazing, and we would also like to discuss in the future to also offer that to our members to be able to join the KK community, because it's so empowering that I think everybody should join and should try and see for themselves.
Yeah, definitely goes hand in hand.
Thank you so much for being available to talk to me and to Pleasy Play and everybody that's listening. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day.
See you later.
And that was Intimacy Play. To find out more about Pleasy Play and how we can take your relationship to the next level, visit pleasyplay.com. And then make sure to search for Intimacy Play in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found, and click subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. On behalf of the team here at Pleasy Play, thanks for listening.